Now, everyone's making it in film and TV, but we don't really know how. Here, we uncover the truth. Welcome to the Your Cinema podcast. Welcome to the Your Cinema podcast today. It's the place where we explore the truth about the film and TV industry as well as theatre, and we hear it directly from those who are smashing it in their areas. Today, our guest, she really is smashing it. She's one of the leads in the BBC and Netflix show Champion. She's currently in America touring the play Queens of Sheba. She's been nominated for a MOBO and she's only really getting started. I introduced to you guys Deja Bowens. What's going on? Boop, 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 boop.
Hi, everyone.
What's going on? Thank you for your time today. I know you're doing back and forth between New York and LA right now. So I'll go straight in, right? Like, basically, so much has been happening for you like recently, especially like starring in Champion, which is like an 8-part drama. But I want to take it like way back, well, maybe not that way back because probably only a few years, but where did you train?
Okay, so I started off like training properly at the Lucian Youth Theatre, which is in Catford. And it's kind of like the main theatre in Catford. And there was a company called Lucian Youth Theatre, and it was for anyone that was living or being educated in the Lucian borough. It was completely free. And I used to just go there after school. It was like very much devised work. I'd be there in my summers. I'd be there after school. I'd be there just anytime that they had something on, I was there. So that was actually my like starting of like creating my love for the theatre. And that's where it all started. Not many people know that, but that's where it started for me. And I don't know if maybe Danny, he recently would have told you, but she actually went there as well. So we're both from there. Yeah. So that's where it was started for me. And I was there for years. I think I was there from like the age of like maybe eight or 7 or something like that, all the way up until 13. And then I went to the Brit school, and that's where things continue. You start.
So what was that like at the Brit school then?
Do you know what? So you start the Brit in year 10. Well, you can start at 2 points. You can start at year 10 or you can start in college. So I was there for the whole 4 years. I was there from year 10. And I'm not going to lie, like year 10 and year 11 for me, it was just a bit of a laugh. I was just there for fun. Like it was just no uniform. You're allowed to leave the premises for lunch. It was just freedom. I was just like this new experience. I'm surrounded by creatives. Everyone just seems to be having so much fun. So I was just there for fun. And we still were obviously obliged to do our GCSE. So the amount of theatre that we did a week was a lot less than obviously when we move on to college now. I would have been turning 18 or whatever. And that's when you obviously do a lot more theatre. It was actually a lot more theatre. And I was like, oh, it's not a joke. So yeah, that's where it started for me. So yeah, Brit for the first 2 years for me was like just lots of fun. And then I'd say college is when it got a little bit more serious because they actually opened up the auditions to 25 more people externally. So there's 50 of us to start with, depending on who wanted to come back or who got back in because we had to re-audition. They opened up the places for people to come in. But those people are people that had finished their A-levels. Their parents probably wouldn't allow them to go to Brit school and they were on it. And it shocked us into being serious because we were like, oh, this isn't a joke anymore. Like there's people that actually want to do this acting thing. We do too, but we've just been kind of like joking around and not taking it seriously. And then that's when I snapped into it. And I was like, oh, this is serious. Like people want to go drama school after this. People want careers after this. Like I need to take this seriously. And then, that's kind of how Brit school went for me. But Brit school's great. And it's such a community. And, I was there from the age of 14. I'm now 26. And I still get called back to help with auditions and give talks and stuff like that. It really is a family. Yeah, it's a family. So once you're in, you're in.
No, I love that. So So you finished Brit school now,
Mhm.
and you were talking about, people want to go drama school and all
Mhm.
of that stuff after. What did you do after Brit school? Because I know drama school is like, it's really expensive, but it's also super competitive as
Yes,
well. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
what did you do after Brit?
So after Brit, I didn't really understand the concept of drama school. I didn't know what it even meant or anything like that. I just knew that it was something that I had to do next because everyone else was auditioning for it. So obviously, I just go with the grain with the rest of my year group. I
Yeah.
naturally did the same, but then I came into a bit of what felt like a brick wall, and that was money. And
Mm,
I don't know what it's like now, but when I was auditioning for drama school, you have to pay to audition, and I wasn't in a financial position like the rest of my friends where they could just pay for several um, drama schools in one go. I could only afford like maybe one or two, um,
mm,
which I feel like set me back a bit because I kind of had less of a chance. So it took
mm,
4 years for me to get into drama school, 4 years of auditioning, because I was only ever able to audition for one or two at a time. And it was only when I took up, yeah, like a part-time job, I was able to sort of like pay for more. Um, so yeah, in that time, I really, really struggled like mentally because I'm seeing all my friends go to drama school. Most of them by this point had probably finished drama school, and I'm still in a place of like, what is going on? Like, God, you told me that I'm going to be an actor. Like, you told me very clearly, and like this very strong sense of purpose and like my reality are not lining up. And I'm working in Aldi. I've worked in every single supermarket you can think of, by the way. So I've worked in Sainsbury's, Aldi, where else? Waitrose. So I'm doing all these jobs. Kind of like on the side, also going to identity,
mm,
which is obviously quite expensive as well. Um,
mm.
just I was yeah about 4 years of just like really deep depression and anxiety and just like feeling like worthless and just like feeling almost like I wanted to give up because I was like, this is too much. This is actually too much. And obviously, if it was meant to be for me, I would be flying with the rest of my friends. Do you know what I mean? They're off doing their thing. A lot of them by this point have got work, and I'm having ladies shouting at me for ID and for alcohol in in Audi. um, working 40 hours a week. I was 18 working 40 hours a week at Audi. It was rough. It was really rough for me. Um, and then it got to my fourth year, and I told myself, I'm not doing it. After this, I'm not doing any more auditioning for drama school. Um, so the third year that I auditioned, I was able to audition for Mountview, and I didn't get in, but I got to the last round. And Mountview have this policy or this thing. I don't know if it's a thing anymore, but when I was doing auditioning, they have this thing where if you get to the last round, they'll give you a free second round audition for the next year. So you get to go straight to second round for the next year. So that happened for me. And I didn't even audition for drama schools in my fourth year. I was like, I'm just taking this one because it's free. I don't even care. Like, I was like, I don't even care. I'm just doing it because it's free. And like, why would I not do it? And that's the year that I got into drama school. I think I just picked some random speech. At the time, I think I'd worked with a director and actor at the time called Bolahan, and I was like, Bolahan, I mean, I don't really care, but can you just help me with the speech? Like, I really had no care in the world, and that was the year that I got in. So that's how I got into drama school 4 years later. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot.
Sorry, that's a movie in itself.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
When you I didn't realize, right? I think the first 10 seconds of when you were like, oh, I couldn't afford the auditions,
Mm,
I was like, oh, okay, cool.
mm,
Maybe because I've heard that before and stuff.
mm.
I think, was it Shaq B Grant? He mentioned something like his. I've heard that before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's not unique. Yeah,
I didn't realize the magnitude of how serious that actually is,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because simply out of that situation, you were almost, it seems like you were in limbo, or at least felt like you were in limbo
Mhm.
for 4 years, which is like, I've never had it put into perspective what the obstacle is. You know, sometimes we say things and
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, this is an obstacle, oh this is an issue and all that stuff, but they're not understanding the issue that it actually
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Like the class, there's a massive classism issue in drama school as well, which we can get to. But the financial thing is like trying to start out into the industry. The financial thing is a big thing, unless you obviously, there's loads of like lovely stories where people have been seen in places or gone to
Mm,
random on a random audition and it just worked out wonderfully for them, and like it just flourishes for them from there. But if you're trying to go like in this kind of sort of linear way, it can be hard if you haven't got them if you haven't got the money. And when I was, in drama school, there was no such thing as open door. There was no such thing as fee wavering. There was none of that was a thing. So if you didn't have it, you didn't have it. Um, and I didn't have it. So it was like a treat if my dad gave me a bit of money towards a drama school audition. And I'm not gonna lie, I think a lot of my family by this point were like, Deja, like, come on. It's like, because at
true.
this point they're just seeing you for 4 years being depressed and just like feeling sad and trying to keep busy. I'm going on Mandy. I'm genuinely trying to keep busy. I'm going on Mandy. I'm going on backstage, all these things for like all these little bits. And I am doing it. And it's just hard. You're traveling, you're spending your own money at sometimes to go to these places, to be an extra in something, just to keep yourself in the door. You know what I mean? But it's not quite what you're meant to be doing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a hard 4 years, but um, yeah, I feel like my faith in God is sort of what kept me grounded, and a lot of love from from my church community. Like I didn't ever ask for money, but people used to be like, Deja, here, take this 20, here, take this 10, here, take this, and just it kept me afloat for the 4 years that I was working and trying to keep in drama school and do all these things. So yeah, it was a hard one, but it we got there in the end.
Wow. So do you
Yeah.
know what? Yeah, that is, yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know if the phrase is lost for words, but that is, I just wasn't expecting that hard. You know, everyone's grafted a bit in it, but
Yeah.
that's like, nah.
Yeah.
4 years of not feeling like you're worth it, but then you've got this deep conviction.
Mm.
That's a huge conflict. That is
Mhm.
so,
It was huge.
well done for sticking through, and being faithful in that regard.
Yeah.
So fortunately, you've gone to Mountview, right? Um, Hopefully it's been a great experience. What did you learn from going there that helped your craft?
Drama school taught me patience. Is what drama school taught me, and it also helped me in the last year
Mm,
to find myself a bit more, because you start drama school. I don't know if Mountview is a little bit different to sort of other drama schools, but like it's every type of person is in drama school, especially when you go to somewhere that offers something called a Dada. It's a dance and drama award, where they assess your family house's income, and they will kind of like give you a bursary on that basis. So I
mm,
got in only because I was given a full Dada. If I didn't get a Dada, I wouldn't. Even then, I wouldn't have gone to Mountview, even if I got in. And there's a lot of people that had to turn down their
mm.
places because they weren't legible for a Dada, and the fees were too expensive. So even still, you get in, and you're still faced with money issues. Um, so you've got people that are not on a Dada and their families are paying for their drama school experience. You've got people that are on a full Dada that are relying solely on the Dada to get in. There's people on a half Dada that like they can pay half, and then the government or whoever it is that pays it will pay. So every type of person is in drama school. Every people come from all over the world to come study at drama school, and
Wow.
everyone wants the same thing. And it can be very competitive at times. Um, but it taught me patience. I mean, I would say, again, money was a big thing for me still. And I, even on a full dada, I still had to contribute to living at home, and I still had to eat. I still had to pay my bills. I still had to do whatever I had to do. So when a lot of my
Mhm.
friends whose families were paying for them to stay in the flat or wherever they were staying, I was working 3 jobs whilst going to drama school. And I had a very bad first year at drama school because I was so tired, because I was just working. Like, I'd come in at 3 a.m. because I was a hairdresser, from doing hair, and then I'd have to be back at drama school for 9 a.m. But I'd be so groggy and just miserable that, like, I didn't form great relationships at the beginning of my schooling, because um I came across as very, like, I think, not nice, maybe, but it's not because I
Moody,
wasn't
moody.
nice. I was moody. But I was very tired.
Yeah,
Um,
straight.
and it started to just get on top of me, and that's when, yeah, I'd say first and second year wasn't great. um, and then COVID hits. It's-
Oh man.
and um, and then I'm spending my classes like how me and you are talking right now, like on Zoom. um, and I genuinely thought drama school couldn't get any worse, but that is probably like, you're doing stage combat on Zoom. How do you even do stage combat on Zoom? It's a vocal.
Wow.
So someone's like, "All right, you ready? Let's do the slap." And you're like, "Wait, no, wait. Did you turn your connection? Do it again." And I wish I was
Wow.
joking, but that was literally how we were doing our classes, and it was awful. And I was living, at this point, with my dad. So two of them, my stepmom and my dad, were teachers, so they were in their own bedrooms doing their teaching. My little sister's still got to do Zoom school, so I'm confined to my bedroom. Where I sleep is where I work. Where I work is where I sleep, and it was too much. Um, and I just hated it. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "God, why are you doing this to me? Like, what are you trying to teach me here?" And it was just, yeah, it was a lot. But thankfully, by third year, we were able to get back into the room, um, and do our third year plays. So uh, I was really blessed to be able to do all my third year shows. We wasn't able to do the showcase, that was cancelled, but
Mhm.
the third year shows were able to go ahead. No audience members were allowed, though, so they were all recorded for us to, send around. Um, so I did my third year play, which was Beneatha's
Mhm.
Place, and I played the role of Beneatha. And in some ways, the digital
Is that
thing
was
kind
that a lead then?
yeah, that was a lead. That was a lead,
Well done.
which was great for me. And I thought it was sort of a disadvantage not being able to invite agents, but it actually was an advantage, because if you're able to record something and just compress it into a link, you can send it around to like 100 times more agents than you would ever have been able to send it around. Most agents don't go to third year shows. They go to showcases, but they won't go to third year shows. And I didn't have a showcase. So I was like, "Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?" I was still sort of in this, like, woe is me sort of situation. I was like, "I hate this. I hate my life. This is not fair. I didn't go through all of this for this to be my thing." And then one of my good friends, Shabazz, was like, "What are you talking about? You just got the lead in Beneatha's Place. You are Beneatha. You are the title role. Go and send some emails." I was like, "Okay, all right." So I took the link, I wrote a draft, and I sent 600 emails. 600. Yeah. Over the course of 3 days, I wrote 600 emails over the course of 3 days. Um, and I got about 20 offers. So thanks, Shabazz. If I never said it before, thanks. he just like, he just put it into perspective. Like, are you crazy? You've just been given this. and send some emails. And I was like, all right, I'm going to send some emails, I'm going to send some emails. And I was just like, something in me was just like, I was up till 3 a.m. like every day, just sending these emails, not knowing. Everyone was like, don't send it to multiple agents from the same agency because they talk. And I was like, I don't care, man. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm about to leave drama school. Like I'm with nothing. I need to send this. And I just sent it. I just sent it to everyone that I could, whose email I could get a hold of. And I got loads of no's because I'm at like 20 emails out of 600. So the rest were no's. But the yeses were good yeses. You know what I mean? Some really good agencies were in the mix and wanted to meet up or wanted to give me an offer. And it was fantastic. I was like, whoa, like crazy. And yeah, and that's how I got my agent, and I left drama school signed, which is really, really a blessing because again, a lot of people were sending agents to emails and there were emails to agents and they were saying, sorry, we got to look after the clients that we already got and they haven't been working, so we can't really take on any more. We can't really take on any more graduates and da 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 da. So it really, really was like a blessing to be able to do that. So yeah,
After all that, 4 years. And then, wait, so how many years was Mountview?
3
So 7
years,
years.
7 years.
And then Shabazz comes and
It's your
gives you the
passport,
final.
pick me up the bum.
Wow. No, do you know what? I'm so inspired by by your work ethic in those 3 days. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Wow. 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 So you've finished Mountview. You've got
Hmm.
your agent now.
Hmm.
Like, what sort of jobs were you getting? And also, so what year was this?
Okay, so I finished drama school 2021.
Hmm.
I would have
Cool.
just,
Cool.
yeah, so 2021 I would have finished.
Cool.
And yeah, the auditions were flying in. They were flying in, they were flying in, they were flying in, they were flying in, like so many, so many, so many, so many.
Really?
Yeah, really, it was crazy. Like I had so many. And everyone used to be like, "Are you taping?" Because I'm not really taping. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm always taping. Like I don't know. That's all I do." So I'm taping. I'm taping. At this point, during my course of studying, I moved around a lot in terms of homes. So at this point now, I'm living with my grandmother, who has been diagnosed with dementia. So it's really, really hard for me living with her because it's just I think COVID sort of might have accelerated it. Being indoors, being cooped up. She was a very
Mm.
active woman. She used to go like seniors aerobics at church. She used to bake. She used to like go to Lewisham High Street on her own accord. You know what I mean? So she was very independent. And then that being snatched away from her, I think didn't really help the situation. So she's declining, and I'm living with her, and it just got really hard for me. So um, Mountview have this like sort of job bulletin, not necessarily always acting work. It can just be jobs that actors can take on and drop at when they need to, if they need to take on
Is
a
that like waitressing and stuff like that, or
those
not?
kinds of
No.
jobs,
Oh, okay.
exactly. So I saw
Yeah.
one, an au pair. I've never looked after children in my life at this point, by the way. But I saw that they were offering a room. I saw they were offering money, and I said, "I'm going for this."
Yeah.
So I went for it because I was like, I need somewhere to stay, and it's getting a bit too hard to be here. I need a more senior member of my family to come in for my
Yeah.
grandmother.
Straight.
Yeah. Um, so I got it. I don't know how. I literally, and I told him straight. I didn't lie. I said I've never looked after children before. I'm just letting you know. So so the lady who offered me the job, she was pregnant at the time. She had a 7-year old and she had a 3-year old, and that's who I was going to be looking after while she was sort of like. And I was a nanny for like 9 months, and even then I was working 3 jobs. So I was when I was at drama school, I
What?
was also so when I was at drama school, I was an estate agent on a Saturday. I was hairdressing and I was working at Waitrose, so 3 jobs. And then when I became a nanny, I was a nanny. I was an estate agent, and I was still doing hair, so still 3 jobs. So in the day, when the kids were at school, I'd do my estate agent thing, and then if anyone wanted their hair done at the weekend, I'd do their hair at the weekend because I didn't work on the weekends. And then I'd take the kids to school, I'd bring them home, I'd cook, I'd clean, I'd make sure they were put into bed and all that kind of stuff. And then she gave birth, and I was looking after 3 children. um, but all the while, I was still working my 3 jobs and auditioning, so I was still doing what I had to do, and that was about 9 months. And I also was nowhere near, well, not nowhere near home, but I was no longer living in South London. That's where I'm from. I was living in Northwest London for this nannying gig, so I wasn't seeing my family as much as I usually do because my family in South London, we literally live like 5 minutes within, yeah, distance. So, but I'm just determined. Like I just, again, this strong sense of purpose is always what has been driving me throughout this whole journey. It's just I know. So even when the little kid used to drive me insane, I used to walk. I used to walk in school. I'm like, this ain't for long. This ain't for long. Come on, Christopher. This ain't for long. This ain't for long. This ain't for long. Trudging my way to school like this ain't for long. This ain't for long. And then one day, I get a job, and my first job was at the Donmar warehouse, doing Mary's Seco, and that would have been 2022, and we did that. Well, the rehearsal started in March, started in April, and I think we finished around June. Unfortunately, we lost our last week due to COVID, but we had a great run of what we did. All the while, whilst I was on Mary's, I'm auditioning for Champion, and that's how.
Wow.
So that's how the story intertwines.
Wow. So how long was that process for you?
Champion.
The auditions, yeah, 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 for Champion.
So rewind back to nannying.
Yeah.
Um, I I auditioned for Champion the previous year,
Hmm.
but that was no. So I auditioned for Vita already, and I was told no. Um, and so that was that. Like there was no, not really any feedback. Just she had a great read, but it just didn't go her way. So cool, left it there. And the following year, the year that I got Mary's, um, I was just like, I'm on this like group chat for actors of ethnic minorities. I'm just chilling like one day, and then like I see this like flyer for a role, and I was like, it didn't give the description of the name of the character or anything like that, but I was like, I know I definitely auditioned for this before. I auditioned for her, and I went back to my emails and I was like, yeah, this is the same role. But what I'd seen was the casting director had changed and it's now an open casting. So it's not just going through agents anymore, it's an open casting. And when I first read that script, I felt a real conviction. Like, I was like, I even called my best friend there and I was like, I'm reading this thing, yeah, and everything that's happened to this girl has happened to me. She's even the same age, Diona, and she lives in South London. Bro, this has to be mine. So when I did get the no, I was devastated, like, because I had this strong, like, feeling like I was going to get this. And when I didn't, I was like, raw, okay, maybe my discernment is a little bit off. Just a little bit
Wow.
off. Um, and then, yeah, so fast forward, get this sort of flyer come through, and I'm like, rah, like, should I make me go for it again? So I messaged my agent. I'm like, can we go through this again? Do you think I could do that? She was like, do it, of course. So she was like, give me a second. She does her little agent thingy bob. Agent thing. Making the magic happen. And then she comes back to me with the sides. And I'm like, cool, 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 cool. So first round was a tape. This is all while being on Mary Seacole, by the way. Doing the tape, and then like a few days, we'd love Deja to come in for a recall. I was like, oh.
Oh, wow.
So I had to leave Mary's rehearsals early because I'm still in rehearsals by this point. Left early, and I'm carrying a suitcase because after Mary's rehearsals, I was off to do someone's hair because I'm still working. I stay working. I stay working. So I come to the audition with a suitcase, and Candice, the writer, who I met her for the first time, goes, "What's in that suitcase?" I was like, "Oh, I'm a hairdresser, so I'm going to be doing hairdressing after my rehearsals today." She was like, "Oh, I like that." And I was like, "Yeah." So I see the audition, um, and then I get another recall, and they're like, "We'd love Deja to come in for a chem read with Malcolm, who plays Bosco." And I'm not gonna lie, I fangirled so hard. I was like, "Malcolm, hold on, ain't he Renell from Top Boy Blood?" Tiona, I am doing an audition with Renell from Top Boy, fam. She was like, "No way." I was like, "Yes, wait." Go to the audition. I think I got to do two more songs and a chem read with him, and then two more scenes by myself. Um, but I think by this point most of the cast had been cast. I think I was one of the last people to be cast. But they really, I think they struggled casting Vita because they just wanted it to be right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So I think it was a very hard decision for them to make because I'm more or less coming towards the end of Mary's now, like or in the middle of the run of Mary's. So you can tell that like, it was very hard for them to decide, which is why it was like they were gonna ask me to come in for a fourth round, but my agent was like, "She's in tech," so
mm,
like anymore. Um, so yeah, it was between me and someone else. I don't know who that was, obviously. And yeah, it, my agent calls me one day whilst I'm with the baby. So I'm still every night. I'm still. So by the way, I'm still living in the nannying house. I'm just paying them rent now because I was like, if I go back to South, there's no tubes, so I need someone that can get
mm.
into London quickly. So they were like, "Yeah, just stay here, just pay us rent." So now I'm living there, but I'm giving them the money. I ain't earning the money. I'm giving them the money. Every now and then I do still like look after the baby or whatever because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
now at this point they're just like proper a part of me. Um,
yeah.
I'm with the baby and she was like, "How would you like to?" My agent calls me like, "How would you like to? I don't know, lead a Netflix show?" I was like, "No, no, 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 you're lying, you're lying, you're lying!" I screamed. I think I woke the baby up, and yeah, like I got the role that way. Um, And literally, as soon as I finished Mary's, I was straight into singing rehearsals with my voice coach. It was the quickest turnaround ever. So I finished Mary's, straight into um, rehearsals with the voice coach. Got all the songs that I would be doing, and we were just on it from that day. The work never stopped. The work literally never stopped. So it's like a roller coaster of a journey.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, you're 7, 8 years. That's it's no easy. Oh.
it's not.
Um,
It's not.
that is yeah, that's well
Really.
done, man. Well done, well done,
Thank you.
well done. You
Yeah.
deserve it. So right, so because funny enough, I was catching up with Malcolm the other day, right,
Mm,
and I was telling him like I didn't realize like the magnitude of Champion until I watched it
mm, mm.
because it's like hold on, I was expecting maybe like a 4 part
Yeah.
series, right? But it's 8 parts, and then you guys flew to Jamaica.
Yes.
Or at least that it was definitely another country. You know when it's like,
It
oh, this is like
was
the
Jamaica.
B. It's
It
like,
was the real thing.
no, this is, and it's not just like for a scene or two, and then you do the funeral and you come. I was like,
Mm.
hold on, they're in a there. There's like one or two full episodes
Yeah.
abroad. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. It was
They
amazing.
really invested in the show. So
It's
for
it's
me, I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. All right, cool. But then the show's so emotionally driven in terms of like the intensity of like relationships and like the friend groups, and one day you're friends, one day you
Mm,
and Ray Black are hating each other, and
mm.
then your brother's got like PTSD, but then you're trying to be his friend, and then he doesn't like you, so then you're like whatever, but then you're like, it's like there's a lot going on, right, in every episode.
Every
And
episode.
I just wanted to know, right,
Mm,
like, because everyone wants to be a lead in it,
mm,
but what was that actually like? Because I feel like sometimes, like, people don't, unless you do it, people don't understand the magnitude of what that might mean.
mm.
So yeah,
I loved being the role of VR, like absolutely. But it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
really,
The hardest thing I've ever done in my life, because it's not just like straight acting. If you're not, like, I was always on the go. So, but like, if you weren't on set, then you're in the studio. And if you're not in the studio, you're getting your hair designed. If your hair's not getting designed, then you're getting your hair done. If your hair's not getting done, then you're in a rehearsal for another number. If you're not in a rehearsal for another number, then you're in vocal coaching with your vocal coach. Like, there's no days off. There's no days off. And you're in that chair every day at 5:30, and you're leaving every single day at the end of the day. Like, there's no breaks. There's no breaks.
wait.
It's so hard.
So you said studio, as in recording music studio?
Yeah, yeah. We sing all of the music. So I sing all of my songs. Ray sings all of her songs. Malcolm's doing all of his songs. Same as Corey. Same as Kieran, who plays Rusty. Anyone that opens their mouth to sing or rap, it's coming from them. There's no dubbing. There's no syncing. So all our vocals are our own. Um, so
How? So you can actually sing,
I mean, I wouldn't say
because you can actually sing.
I wouldn't say I'm a singer, but if it requires it, I'll sing.
You know what, right? Do you know what? So when I saw your when I saw you doing all of Vita's songs, right?
Yeah.
Because is they've got such a Ray Black cadence,
Mm,
like, my girl, that just sounds like a song Ray Black would write. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's very unique and very real and
yeah.
soulful and all of that stuff. So then I'm thinking, I'm thinking, Ray Black singing, but she's making it sound
Okay. Yeah,
like you a little bit.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Because you can tell when it's someone else's voice. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. But you actually sang
yeah. Sang
all those songs.
every single song, every single one that I do in the show. I sing it. Yeah.
And like, music is not a thing that you do as well as act.
No, no, I don't think. Not
So
for me.
then when you're with your vocal coach, you're really training to sing better
Yeah.
than what you can naturally.
Yes. Yes. That was probably the hardest part for me, because like I've always sang as I said this before. I've always sang as a part of like a choir, or at church I'm on the worship team, but that's like a group. But like being a solo artist is something completely different, and you're very exposed, especially when you're on set with like the lighting crew. You're on set with the like everyone, the execs, the everyone's on set, the directors, everyone, and whoever's in your scene, you got to sing in front of them. And it's very, very nerve-wracking, because I don't do that by myself.
So you're
um
singing live.
so, yeah, so a lot of the I don't,
What?
not for the soundtrack, but in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show,
yeah, yeah.
a lot of the recordings are a mixture of live and pre-recorded. So there's a mixture
Oh,
in there. Yeah. So some of the stuff are they've taken some of our live recordings and put it in there as well. So it's very exposing. I think the only time I didn't do it is for the finale,
mhm.
because there was so much dancing, and they were like, "Don't bother, just lip sync or whatever." But
Yeah,
even then, I
yeah,
still
yeah.
had to do a little bit live, just to get like the because they really wanted to make the sound design is really amazing, and they really wanted to
Mhm.
get the breaths in there, like the to the authenticity of the breath. So like they were like, still do it
Yeah,
live.
yeah,
We can know where you would breathe, and get that sort of like breathiness, because obviously you'd be dancing and stuff. So
yeah.
they put a mixture, so it's a mixture of live and a mixture of pre-recorded in there. So yeah, it was really hard for me, but you know, Josh is amazing, and he's my Josh Alamy is my vocal coach, and
Yeah.
he's a vocal coach for some amazing people like Ray Black.
Oh,
No,
is it?
he's vocal coach for all those people. So he's a goat. He knows what he's doing. You know?
This is amazing, man. Do you
Yeah.
know what? No, even more kudos to you, man, because yeah, I'm thinking, oh yeah, they would have sorted that out in post or it's someone else. Like that is a lot.
It's a lot,
That's a lot.
a lot. So
And obviously your hair is going to take longer than Malcolm's, in it. So that
mhm.
is, yeah, that's a lot, man. No,
Yeah,
well done, well
yeah,
done.
yes.
What advice would you give to someone, right? I think I asked Malcolm this as well, but I think it's very important for both of you because it's like you guys have landed lead roles
Hmm.
on a show at a particular age,
Mm,
and
yeah,
it's like it's kind of unheard of. Like this doesn't happen every day, do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's like everyone would want to play a lead, but what advice would you give to someone that's like, oh, I wanted to play VR?
Um, for yeah. Okay, so I'd say trust in your journey, number one, and trust that what is for you is meant to be for you because Vita came right back to me. Do you know what I mean? When I thought it was gone. And if your first role is a supporting role, or your first role is like maybe number, I don't know, 50 on the call sheet, use that because I will take skills away um, as being as having my first job as a lead. But I never really got to. I never got. Remember, it's my first job. Period. It's my first TV job. Period. I've never had a TV job before. This is my date.
True.
So I'm having to. And all my training comes from theatre. So all of this repetition business, being on set for long hours, like I hated that. I was like, why am I saying this line again? I'm done. I'm done with the scene. I am done with the scene. Can we go? There's no we can go. Like you still got to do all your setups, all your however many people are in the scene with you, their setups, then a wide, then an aerial, then a do you know what I mean? All these setups, and then and then in between those setups are takes. So you got to keep doing takes, and you can be doing the same scene for a whole day. And that took a lot for me to get used to because I'm not used to that. Me, I'm a live theatre performer. So if I mess up, you either make it work or you pray tomorrow for a better day. That's it. Not all this repetition business. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's there's a lot that I had to take away. There's a lot of patience that I had to learn. I had to the stamina. I didn't have that. I didn't have a lot of stamina because I'm not used to that, that sort of skill set. Um, so like if that is your first role and your first role isn't a lead, use that to help you for when your lead does come because you'll be probably in a much better position than me where I was shocked into my role. I had to just learn on the go. I had to just just roll with it, roll with the punches. I had to take a lot of lessons from the people that I was on set with. Obviously, I got some amazing people like, come on, the D Marshall, Joe Martin, Carl Collins, Ray Fearon. I got legends. I got veterans to work with. You're not always going to get veterans. You're not always going to get that. So luckily, I was able to just like really just take everything from them, and they willingly gave it. Do you know what I mean? Um, so I was in. That's why I was in an amazing position because as much as I was rolling with the punches and it was really hard for me, I had an amazing supporting cast around me to help me and elevate me, and they were so supportive of me as well. Like they really wanted the best for me. Um, so yeah, that's what I'd say. I'd say trust in whatever is coming your way, and take every role as a blessing. Being able to work in this industry is a blessing. It's not. It's really not a right. It's not. It's not. It's a privilege to be able to work in this industry. Um, so I take every role that I get as a blessing. Every single role as a blessing. If my first role was flipping tree number one, I'll thank the Lord for it same way. You know what I'm saying? Um, and
Wow.
and that's just the way it goes. So yeah, just accept your journey for what it is. I've accepted my journey. I love my journey. At the time, it was horrible. I hated it. But looking back, being able to look back and talk to you about my struggles that really were real struggles for me, I love that.
Mm.
I love that I can say, oh, I've come this far and here I am. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I would say. Trust and believe in your journey and be relentless as well. Don't let anyone tell you no. All this plan B business, I was like, this, let me tell you what my plan B is to make plan A work. That's what I used to tell my mum. Plan B is to make plan A work. That's the only plan. And that's what I used to drive me all the time.
Mm.
So yeah, that's my advice. My small advice.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is such a great way to round up as well, man. Like, Deja, I am inspired. Thank you for your time. This is like, even just finding out more about your journey, it makes us, I think, appreciate and even support you more because it like, yeah,
Yeah.
that beginning part,
Yeah.
that's difficult. That's
Yeah.
difficult. So
And
well done, man.
oh, that girl, she just come out of drama school and got a role. I'm like, nah, it was 7 years, darling. It was 7 long years.